Huh? Here you go, Santa Claus. Thanks, random kid.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Only if they no crying. Oh, I have ways of knowing. My work.
Even circumstances. Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and I am here with a brand new movie review. And this movie review is going to be for a new release that just came out this weekend and came out yesterday. And it's because as you see by my background, it is a Christmas film. It's a brand new Christmas film that came out, and it's a Christmas themed action film in the veins of a John Wick style tone. It was one I never heard about till October, but I saw it last night, and that film was going to be for none other than this weekend's Violent Nights. Before I get into details, what's the plot? Well, when a Parliament military group seizes the estate of a wealthy family on Christmas Eve, Santa Claus must answer the daughter's Christmas wish and step in to save the day and save Christmas as well. How was this made? Well, in March 2020, Universal Pictures announced that it acquired the original screenplay to Violent Night by Pat Casey and Josh Miller, and the 87 North Productions would produce. In November 2021, David Harbour is cast as the lead role, with Tommy Wirkola set to direct. In early 2022, John Leguizamo, Beverly D'Angelo, Alex Hazel, Alexis Louder, Eddie Patterson, Cam Gideon, and Andre Harrison were confirmed to star. The shooting of the film took place from January to March 2022, and had commenced by February 2022 in Winnipeg. During the whole year, now guys, how did this go for me? Well, during the whole year, I had no idea that this movie was actually going to be a thing. Around either September or October, I saw a poster for this film and already seemed excited at the idea of a new Christmas action film, since there aren't a lot of them except for either Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. So this was a nice change, especially since it's from the team behind many great films such as the John Wick franchise, Nobody, Bullet Train, and many more. So, but back on to more production details. Violent Night would go on to have its world premiere at the New York Comic Con on October 7th, 2022, and has now been released this weekend in the United States yesterday on December 2nd, 2022, by Universal Pictures. The reviews from critics so far have been either mixed to positive. As for my reaction, I actually thought this movie was pretty fun. It was for sure no masterpiece, but I don't care. I went expecting a fun, violent Christmas action film in the veins of John Wick, and that was exactly what I got with this film. And honestly, had Avatar: The Way of Piss not been coming out in a few weeks, this would have been an enjoyable way to close out 2022 in film. I mean, wow, did 2022 go by fast. What pretty much follows here is a demented mashup of Die Hard, Home Alone, Bad Santa, and Thor. I'm not kidding, guys, they even reference Home Alone in this movie. Like, deadly weapons used here include your expected firearms, but also a finely honed candy cane, an icicle, a skating shoe, and a Christmas tree star, among other holiday items. Most prominent is the sledgehammer wielded by Santa. and the flashback to his pre-Santa days for explanation. The violent action is plentiful, and it's well balanced with countless lines of comedy. Surprisingly, there's even a story nestled in amongst the mayhem, and the heart of it rolls around the bond between Santa and young Trudy. She's this true believer of him that overrides his uncertainty about the job and inspires him to stick around for the fight. Santa can't explain the mystique of Christmas magic, but he doesn't know a 1,100-year marriage has its ups and downs. In these types of films, you run the risk of bad action sequences that ruin the whole movie, but the entire team here deserves a round of applause for their work on Violent Night. The action sequences are badass, and some of the more creative kills I've seen in a movie in quite some time. There's also a massive callback to one of our favorite Christmas movies that Trudy has a hand with, which is spectacular. Like, nothing says Christmas spirit than getting a brand new movie with Santa Claus saving the day by kicking ass and taking names. And that's exactly what we get in the new movie Violent Night. Strangely enough, Violent Night even opts to tell a tale of supernatural entities, rather than simply having a family member dress up in the silvery beard and crimson robe, secretly possessing former Black Ops skills. Instead, when utilizing mythological creation, firm definitions are scarce. Not only is Santa not really vulnerable, but his abilities and limitations are entirely unknown. A conundrum faced by many great superheroes, this leads to numerous sequences that must rely on explanations such as Santa saying, I really don't understand how it works either, but nevertheless, the hand-to-hand combat in this movie is very engaging. And while the dialogue is hilarious, it's all quite cheesy, but in a fun big budgeted way, especially as countless Yuletide tropes are sent up and ridiculed. It's like difficult not to laugh at the creativity of a nutcracker torture device, or a candy cane weapon, or using wrapping paper, decorating ribbon to patch a bleeding wound. And running the risk of becoming a bit too one-note, Violent Night even keeps things fresh throughout with some high-octane, brutal and inventive action sequences, and Santa uses everything from a sledgehammer to ice skates as weapons. It was like Willie Soak at the start of the film. Like, Santa soon does become John McClane to take down a number of bad guys, and the results are outrageously entertaining. It's action that's shot well and comprehensible to the audience, a rarity nowadays in the genre. The playfully yet violent nature of the film is highlighted throughout by the use of some classic Christmas music to accompany sequences of Santa on the rampage. And if you prepare for a crowd-pleasing homage to the Home Alone films later in the film, that will make you kind of wince a fair few times. And now onto the performances. I don't think there's anyone here having more fun than David Harbour as Santa Claus. His take on Father Christmas is surely one of the best iterations of the character we've seen on screen in years for being so badass, and there's particular presence Harbour brings to this role. Effortlessly cool as he dons the Santa suit to slay time and time again. And then you also have another great performance in this, John Leguizamo, who plays the head robber of this movie, and the head robber's name is actually Mr. Scrooge, fitting because, well, Scrooge, y'all remember Christmas Carol, Scrooge hates Christmas the first. And, but it's not really his name, but he just kind of comes up with that name for himself anyways. But it's just so many Christmas puns and plenty as he sets his sights on a rich bounty. Like, from early on, it becomes clear that Violent Night doesn't even take itself too seriously and is out to deliver an entertaining Christmas present to the audience. And that's precisely what it does. Like, writers Pat Casey and Josh Miller, who've worked on the Sonic films, clearly got inspired by Christmas films like Die Hard, hired action film John Wick, and another Christmas film, Home Alone. And they decided to give their spin to those classics and combine them. They take all the elements from those films we love and add even more action, goofiness, and Christmas spirit. This movie takes it one step further as it's not afraid to show us gore, blood, and exceptionally cleverly filmed and written action scenes. But back to Leguizamo's performance. Like, Leguizamo's performance is he's actually a very amazing villain in this. Like, he gives you absolutely no reason to like him, and you can't help it. Like, he's a bit campy, but it's also yet full embrace on the fun is what makes everything work so well. And a pure devotion to dropping these Christmas-themed insults and maliciously twisted use of Christmas euphemisms are some of the funniest lines of the film. Heck, the audience even really laughed at a lot of his lines. And like, during the finale, there's this nice little throwback to all the Home Alone traps, because this movie does reference Home Alone. Like, in the beginning of the movie, Trudy actually quotes "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal" to her dad, and it's mentioned she actually got to stay up late and watch Home Alone and stuff. And like, She even puts up booby traps for two of Scrooge's henchmen. Like one involves this like nail in the ladder, like in that film. The guy doesn't fall for stepping on it, obviously, but it like but the nail in the foot does happen though, not the foot. Nope, it happens like here, basically. So, and then this other one falls to this bowling ball trap. The bowling balls even keep whacking him on there and stuff, and he does manage to get this removed and stuff. But there's also this other set of needles down there that he falls on, gets impaled on, and then the other crux. Then the Christmas ornament one also happens, like in that film, and it's much more queasy to sit through. Unlike in Home Alone, where it's actually more goofy and hilarious because you don't see blood, thankfully. But it's a pretty nice little finale, a nice little throwback to Home Alone and stuff. And the action was pretty great as well at the very end of the film, and yeah, and I really liked the way David Harbour played Santa Claus in this one as well. Well, but despite those good qualities I mentioned, is there any bad qualities to this film? Well, yeah, there's kind of a few. There are some noticeable lulls between the action scenes as time is dedicated to that bit of storytelling, and those who came to see a non-stop action may be disappointed by his intervals. And to be honest, the first couple of fights were a bit of a disappointment, with some shaky camera work not helping the style of hand-to-hand combat they were after. And there were a long single take style moment that did not come together and that flagged immediate warning signs. And add to this just how long it starts for the story to get going, the fact that any part of the family's narrative is the least exciting thing in the movie. And the rest of the relatives, except for Trudy and her parents, they were not very likable, no? Like, Trudy's dad's sister was really annoying. Her son wasn't any better either, and there's this other... And her husband is an outright... pretty much goes into the coward traitor cliche by running away from the minute he gets. And of course, generically, he gets shot up because Trudy's dad's mom has that. What am I taking up of? Sorry, guys. But anyways, her mom has this military thing that she thinks is going to help them out. But it turns out they're working for Leguizamo, so they had to do that cliche. And the movie does start with Santa actually drinking at a bar. He gives the bartender this gift for her grandson. And then she sees him... Then she sees, like, Santa flying off from her roof at the beginning. But, of course, the moment pretty much just gets ruined by a vomit joke. Because since he drank so much, he then vomits, and the vomit lands on the bartender, which was really disgusting. Yeah, there's even a bit of a pee joke in the opening montage too. Really, like, we didn't really need to have, like, vomit or toilet humor in this. Like, in the beginning, but thankfully it's only the beginning. But anyway, despite those bad qualities, I have nothing else to say, really. Violent Night is this decently fun action Christmas film that is worth streaming for the holiday season. And in the end, I would stream this movie just for your own sake. Because honestly, while I decently liked it, opinions are probably going to vary. Some may like it, some may just think it was alright, so maybe just stream it. Maybe just stream it to be safe. But if you really want a violent Christmas action film, you should definitely go see this in theaters. Anyways, that's it for my review of Violent Night. If you're wondering how I'm going to rate Violent Night, here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, if you want a John Wick-styled Christmas action film, then I would recommend streaming this one online for sure, or go see it in theaters depending on your opinion, because it is a very fun little flick and nothing more. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Violent Night, I'm going to give Violent Night a 7.5 out of 10. And there we go. That pretty much wraps up my review for Violent Night. And you're probably... And what do you know? I guess 2022 is officially over for movies. This was not a bad year, I gotta say. It was actually kind of good. Honestly, that's probably one of the better years in a very long time for movies. Maybe yeah, there were still some stinkers, but we still had some way better films and some films that actually were that I was not excited for that were actually surprises. And I hope the rest of the decade can be more like this. Even this decade seemed to pretty much show that people were finally sick of all the cash grab sequels we were getting, so it's nice to see some actually original stuff for once. I mean, we still had some occasional cash grab sequels, that sucks, but we had some sequels that actually turned out to be out of nowhere great. So, at least you can say 2022 is officially over. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. We still had Avatar The Way of Piss to get through. Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. Never mind. So much for ending 2022, a great year on a high note. But anyway, until then, guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank you all for watching. And if you like this and want to see more, and don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.